All right, everyone. Who's the Joker? Who is he? Who was he? There are many questions we need to know. We ask ourselves as one of the to understand one of the most complex characters in comic books. Hi, welcome into Leon's Corner. This is Leon, and today we're gonna talk about the origins of the Joker. So, to begin with, who's the Joker? Right now, we don't. Nobody knows who the Joker is, but there are different uh, information given about him. Uh, there have been different interpretations as who the Joker is, or how the Joker is. Most of them were based on the comic books from the 1990s all the way to now. There were given many different aspects of the Joker throughout the movies, shows, cartoons, and etc. But nobody really knows the, the actual um, the actual the Joker himself. um, we do know he's a madman, a guy who's bent on creating chaos, anarchy, and um, causing trouble. Most interpretations define the Joker as, yes, chaotic, an anarchist, a problem maker, and some in other aspects of him uh, that are given as far as comical and outrageous in many sense. In some interpretations, like in the early 19 and the early Batman comic books, and we're talking about the detective series, the Joker was known to be really dark. I mean, he did actually. If you read, there's one comic book series where there's only been three Robins, you know, the Batman genre, and one of them uh, does get killed by the Joker. I can't remember the the detective issue, but he's one of the three Robins. Now, on the 1969's Batman, the Joker was more defined as a comical clown, uh, causing chaos, driving people crazy, um, and a troublemaker. The role was played by Cesar Romero, and that was in Batman 69, um, which also had the first Batman movie in color, and it wasn't much out of the comic books because um, in the early 60s, when the Batman Detective series was in existence, um, there were there were already problems about being too graphical and risks of just putting an end to the series. So there were some readjustments within that period of time, which allowed the comic book series to continue. Um, then the next uh, definition of the Joker, Batman '89, was played by Jack Nicholson. He proved to be the Joker that the comic book had uh, had envisioned at the time. Yes, um, tough, troublesome, chaotic, problematic. There was a bit of a sense of humor in Jack Nicholson's role, to be exact. There were a bit of comedy within it, just so you know. It was still a darkish Joker, but in a sense, um, it wasn't like the Joker from the comic book series, but it did match the Joker. Then we had um, uh, Mark Hamill, and he did the voice of the Joker for Batman the Animated Series, which it had featured several animated movies. One of them was uh, Mask of the Phantasm, which was, into my opinion, it was the best of all Batman movies, including the new movies. It was the best of all movies, and it never made it into theaters. I mean, talking about never making it. I mean, Batman Sub Zero and some other animated movies went to theaters, but not Mask of the Phantasm. And yeah, Mark Hamill did pull a Joker, and it was amazingly enough, it matched the other two Jokers. So the pattern was kind of darkish, a bit on the uh, comedic side. Not like Cesar Romero, because Cesar Romero's was more of a comedic Joker than the original Joker, which is chaotic and Anyway, um, he also did the voice of the Joker in The Last Laugh, who again, uh, the way the Joker was actually described was more of a man who actually um, was was a comedian, but he was not a good comedian. Nobody accepted him. Nobody liked his comedy routine. So he was a man on despair, and he had a he had um a wife and a baby, and he needed to come up a way of raising his baby with. But the thing is that he did work for for a uh, I believe it was a chemical factory on the side. But he's convinced by two mobsters that he would be well and get paid really good if he did one job for them. So the three of them did break into the chemical company, but in turn of events, something really happens to this one man. He actually had to wear the Red Hood's helmet just to protect his identity and another thing. But because of what happened, he did wind up on the path of chemicals, finding himself becoming the Joker, this sick and twisted person known as the Joker, and it just got to the point where it just got out of hand. So at the end, I mean the first couple minutes of the last laugh wasn't really. It had nothing to do with the actual story. Um, but I mean, going back to the Joker, he just became the Joker, and he's he started being the way he was. Basically, he knew he had a wife, but it was all over for him. His life just changed within an open of eyes. So when it comes to the conclusion, and yes, this is I'm giving couple spoilers. So if for any case of spoilers, and you guys just don't wanna have that, my suggestion is two things: shut off the volume, change the um everything, or just leave the room. So moving on towards the end of the whole thing, Batman and the Joker, they do have a final confrontation, and they're both quite bitten to a pulp. And Batman tries to help the Joker up, and he just backs up, and Batman tells him, "Well, I don't know what made you the person you are. You don't have to be like this. You don't have to. Uh, uh, we could work something out." And he just go- he just answers back, telling him, "Well, what's the use?" And then he starts laughing, and Batman was wondering why he started laughing, and until a couple minutes, the Joker just reminds him of a joke he heard about two guys escaping uh, the nut house, and I still remember that. But he just tells them the joke, telling him that these two guys wanted to run out because they're sick and tired. They went out for freedom, and but one of the guys was really afraid to go through because they had to go through rooftops and everything else. So the guy just proposed them to help him out by lighting his pet with a light. And well, the guy has told him, yeah, like he's gonna be crazy enough because by the time he reaches halfway, he already shut off the light. That was the punchline at the end, and the two of them start laughing, and you see Batman. I don't know if he was going to hold the Joker by the shoulders or he was going to actually strangle him. That's I think that it's totally left out to the viewer. Actually, it's left out so the viewers could actually decide upon themselves what would be the climax of the whole story. Then we had let's see what else. Jared Leto, guys. I'm not I'm not bashing on anybody, but his role as the Joker wasn't quite there, and he was picked as the Joker for Suicide Squad. I I have no idea what they were thinking about. I just don't have any idea what they were thinking about because there was not much involvement of the Joker, and I mean, God, even on the cartoon of Harley Quinn, you see the Joker and Harley going at each other like crazy. But if you see Suicide Squad, yeah, the Joker's like dry, have no place, nowhere whatsoever. He's just there because he has to be there because he's the Joker. But one of the things that happen is that all the stuff that begin to happen after the movie, which became news, and I'm not gonna go in detail about this because I don't want to upset nobody, including the filmmakers and the actors. But when you do something as giving sending a dead animal to your coworkers, simple as something like that, it just strikes you like, uh-uh, that was my reaction. I'm sorry. And then the famous excuse was, well, he wanted to be into character. He was trying to explore or go in depth into character. I wouldn't do that. I would try to. I just would try to actually look at look up to the best subjects I could think of: comic books, movies, um, vi- video games. other type of resources. But when you start doing something like that, it just drives a person to just wanna, you know, I can really go on this because I'm gonna go get out of hand, and believe me, it wasn't pretty. Moving on. Um, um, Heath Ledger. Now here's a guy that had a lot to talk about. First of all, Heath Ledger's Joker came in matching the other couple Jokers according to the comic book. He brought out that dark, menacing character from the comic book on his own way. He um he also faced another thing, and a lot of people kind of get. He had a backlash too, just like Leto. There was a backlash with his layer in regards of him taking part of another movie which rubbed people the wrong way. But he was a perfect choice, and it is weird. It is weird because of the fact that there were two people already chosen to be the Joker. Sean Penn, and there was another man who really looked like the Joker. But out of nowhere comes Heath Ledger getting the role, getting to work, and man, if you haven't seen him in action, watch The Dark Knight. You'll see what I mean. um, let's try to do the Joker. Um, so I mean, you don't need to go to the extreme to understand a character's behavior because you see that on your everyday life. You can walk out the streets and just take a look around you and you see it. You don't need to actually go to the extreme as to what has been done because I believe that's not a way of actually getting into character. If what if that happened, imagine another person hurting another person just because of trying to get to that point as far as trying to understand that character. So I mean the best way of doing this if you really want to understand all about the Joker is do a research on them. Try to get as much information as possible. You could look for information on the internet about the Joker. You could actually look back into the comic books, look back into the movies, look back into games, and you'll be able to understand a bit more about him rather than just All right. Um, then just focusing on on how he was. I mean, you don't have to hurt a, an animal or hurt a person just because you need to know about them. All you have to do is do your research, see from other experiences, and you'll probably put piece by piece of maybe, maybe one of the most complex puzzles may ever made or been in history. Who knows? Maybe you'll be able to solve the weirdest and hardest puzzle you could ever think. And I mean, what can I say, guys? I mean, it's just and no, it is not surprise, but I mean, if you wanna go deep into it, like I said, there are a lot of things about them, and that's about it. I mean, what else? Um, I can tell you though. If I go back into, oh yeah, there were a couple other. I mean, from cartoons till now, the Joker has been evolving like crazy. I mean, from the comic books to the cartoon era during those times to now. Didn't notice that. But if you guys have any questions, I mean, in I can tell you, I played a couple Batman games, and which reminds me now that I remember when we were talking about Mark Hamill, I forgot to mention this, guys, but man, it was because of his great acting on Batman the Animated Series. He was the perfect choice to do the Joker's voice once again on the Ark- Arkham games. My favorite one had to be well, I just played two Arkham and Arkham City. Uh, what to do? But I'll never forget going through all that tricks, all that stuff he has put on, and that final encounter, which was kind of crazy. Um, if I had to choose, um, who would be the best Joker? Um, it would be a hard one because I mean I have to go all over again with all the information given. So in the end, I would probably say, um, oh man, I just remember something. There was one guy I forgot to mention right now, and that was um, what's his name? Phoenix. Mm, he also played the Joker in a different way, and I mean Phoenix's character Joker was kind of interesting. It wasn't the whole. Well, he did get chaotic later on, but it wasn't like that for most of the time. He was just a person who just was in show business and doing stuff. And once he got that one encounter with some kids, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's what kind of snapped him. But I don't know exactly. Um, I don't think there was nothing really linking to the other Batman uh, stories, except for the fact that on the interpretation of Phoenix's character, actually, the Joker was Bruce Wayne's brother, and he was the son that was never mentioned. So yes, like I said in the beginning, there are many interpretations, and that's it. Nobody knows who he is. And here's another one. Um, I just remembered this from the 1980s Batman, where the Joker did this thing with the having everybody uh, passing out from the gas and everything, and somehow with the combinations he did um, with makeup and that, they did have a couple of female Jokers, and that was kind of a crazy thing. I mean, it was just something they got for the movie, but there is one Batman issue where yes, um, actually Martha Wayne goes to a point where she actually snaps and becomes the female counterpart of the Joker. At some point, just she just suddenly snaps and she becomes the female um, version of the Joker. Some some of the personalities that were described in various Jokers. Several Jokers, he was a genius. He dealt with chemistry. So on Batman 89, you find out that he was a genius when it came to chemistry and art, and that's why Bruce Wayne was able to find a pattern to his deadly weapon, which was the compound he created for um, the makeup and all that. Now, when he took over Team Drake, well, we already know he was a genius. He especially with chemicals. There was one episode of Batman the animated series where he actually, again, it touched the issue of chemicals. He somehow he created this um, this type of a fish, and it was known as the Joker fish. Will would have this effect on people. Once the people encounter with it, they would actually, yeah, they would die with a happy face, with the Joker's face, basically. And you could see that. Actually, you could see that on Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker, where um, where the Joker did find out that Bruce Wayne was Batman, and um, he was he created this special thing because he knew about the Joker. He knew what he was going to pull. So so what Bruce Wayne did before the Joker hit him with the gas was that he created uh, not a pen, something. Man, it's like a not a potion, something that would actually make you come back to or be who you once were. Yes, um, at this time there was another kid who took over Batman's place, and it was McGinnis. He wanted revenge for the Joker because of just like Bruce Wayne, he lost a family member. So when he finds Bruce Wayne laying down on the because he went back to the mansion after having a discussion with Wayne about the whole revenge thing. He goes back and sees Wayne laughing, and because of the strength of the poisonous gas that the Joker used on him, um, he had that formula developed, but he was smart to hide it. So McGinnis gives him a shot, and well, he goes to the hospital. Um, McGinnis starts investigating every single thing about the Joker, and he even talked to the key character, the key people involved on with Bruce's who knew Bruce's secret. So he spoke to Barbara Gordon, who in that sense she was old. This was old in the future. Barbara didn't. She just told him that yeah, there were him. He was delayed because and she and um Robin, they were out on a mission, and he got kidnapped, and nobody knew what happened. And Batman kept on looking for him, but it looks as if the Joker just faded away and he wasn't to be found. So many things happened since then, and she did told to McGinnis to stay out of it. He better don't to stop ahead. And at that time, she was Commissioner. She was actually she took over Commissioner Gordon's position, which she was, of course, his daughter, and she became the new commissioner at that time. So yeah, later on, you see, um, they showed you what the Joker did to Robin, and that was when he took over Team Drake. And the weird thing is, going back, so we know we did find out in Batman '89 he was good with chemicals and art. That's why he did the whole museum thing slash getting rid of Gotham City with poisonous gas. In the animated series, he developed the Joker fish, which was again had the same effect as Smiley's gas, but I was kind of not hilarious about that. But he actually was supposed to die. That was his fate since on Batman '89 he died. However, what he did before he died transferred himself as an AI finding himself somehow reaching out Tim Drake. You don't know that because at this point there was no there was there was going to be another Batman movie, but there was no at this point there was not really anything going on. But it was mentioned that there was going to be a return of the Joker, and there were talks about the Joker had this square on his head that actually was his personality and so on. Um, but I was shocked because it years later it happened. That was when they did the animated movie Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, and I did have the idea that the Joker was going to be back in a different way, but nobody had. I was as shocked as anybody else who'd seen Return of the Joker. So so we didn't know he was a genius, kind of the woo sign, but a genius nonetheless. Um, yeah. So yeah. So you could also say he was a genius. Now, when yeah, when I talked about um oh now I forgot his name. His layer. Like I said before, he was unknown. Still, he was a genius. He knew when to strike. He knew when to put panic on the city. He knew what would happen. Like he was ahead of everything. Plus, you can also notice what he did on the two ferries. So again, the Joker was really smart. That's one thing we know for sure. He was smart as what he was doing. He did try to do things with chaos. He tried to bunch of things. And my question to you guys is why so serious? No, but other than that, yeah, I sorry, I had to do this. I just had to do this. But um, like I said, hey, it's not fully said who he was or who he is, what made him, but you could find out about it, and by not doing it the wrong way either. Um, I wish I had some footage to show you different different aspects of him. Maybe on a later on video or something. What I'm gonna do is probably show you um probably I'm still I'm still uh thinking how I'm gonna go about this, but because today was basically um basically the the origins of the Joker. But next time, what I'll probably do if I get some footages, I'll show you little clips so you guys could understand more what goes through the Joker's mind or why he became the Joker. So at some point, I'm I'm gonna work on that, and I'll show you those clips. um, if you have any any thoughts, any ideas, any any challenges. Now, I do have certain things we could do. Just let me know. You guys have something to share. Let me know. Um, you can always give me and ask me uh, for suggestion. Either that or um, just yeah. My DM will be open to you guys for suggestions and questions and um, anything you guys want to know or talk about, and I'll get to you. So feel free to drop by and even say hi. And believe me, I'll answer back. I'll answer back. Um, um, other than that, I have covered much about the Joker. Um, I know I kind of repeat myself. I usually do that all the time for some reason. But yeah. Also, let me know if you guys have a favorite. What was your favorite Batman movie of all time? Your favorite Batman series, and who was your favorite character, and why? What I'll do probably on the next show, uh we'll do some clips. I'll talk about those uh different representations of the Joker, and then just move along. No, it kind of reminds me that once. I just remember getting off topic, guys. But I just remember I'm a fan of Star Wars, and I just remembered something from Episode 4. I just love that scene where Obi-Wan uses some of the Hulk Jedi mind trick on the Stormtrooper, and he goes like, "These are not the droids we're looking." And the trooper says the same thing. Um, also says some other thing, and then I think he goes, "Move along," and you see the trooper go, "Move along, move along." So yeah, so that's what's gonna happen. So it won't be a fully part two because I think we did cover everything or most of the aspects of the Joker. So all I'm gonna do next time is show few clips, go through them with you, and talk about those, and then just go from there. So um, I'll start getting things wrapped up right now, and I'll say one but two things, guys. Um, take care of yourselves, be safe, and Um, yeah. Okay, so this is Leon uh, signing off. Until next time, peace out.